Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Youier podcast. I am your host, Elle Edwards, founder of Youier and the Blue House. All through season 8, don't forget, we are exploring what it means for you to be Youier, the leader God created you to be, in intentional, expectant relationship with Him. So if you've been following along, these episodes are short and sweet and actionable. We give you a plaything. Have you been doing your plaything? If you've been doing your plaything and you are a member of the Blue House, don't forget to share what comes up for you inside the playground. If you're not a member of the Blue House, you can add a comment probably somewhere underneath where you're enjoying this episode. But if you're brand new, welcome. You are in for a treat. Today's one is all about stop doing lists and digging into those things that maybe zap your energy. Now, what does this have to do with you being Youier? It's actually really important. There's a question quite often this will not surprise some of you. I love talking. There's a surprise. I love talking. I love conversation. And as a result, I love being a guest on other people's podcasts, which incidentally, if you have a podcast and you'd like me to be a guest, shoot me an email. But a number of times when I'm on a podcast and this word Youier comes up, and once we've established how to say it, because some of you struggle with that word, and once we've unpacked what the word actually means, quite often the question will come up, well, how do I know who I am? How do I be the person I was created to be, or the leader I was created to be? And there's not like a one magic answer to this. You don't magically wake up one day, well, in my experience, we don't wake up and go, I know who I am today. It's definitely part of the journey. But the number of times I find myself talking about stop doing lists and energy levels and paying attention to what lights you up, and then conversely what doesn't light you up. And we see those as clues or signposts or just little hints of those things that are us moving into who God created us to be. That comes up quite a lot. And so earlier on, I was sitting with Holy Spirit and I was like, okay, what's next for the Youier podcast? Remembering, you see, these episodes, they are standalone, but they come together as a collection as well. So if this is your first episode, I would encourage you to go back and enjoy some of the previous episodes. They aren't very long, 10 minutes more or less is about the length of those episodes, because each piece builds in together. And so, for example, if you were here when we explored your perfect ordinary day, there will be things that came up for you that will be signposts towards, oh, this is what it means for me to be me. And today's episode is no exception. So this idea of stop doing lists and paying attention to your energy levels, this is not about going, oh, I don't like doing the laundry, so I'm going to stop doing it. That would be wonderful. There are some things, however, in your day that I suspect you will need to continue doing. That said, I am a big fan of delegation. If you can get some people in your life to help you, brilliant. Or ditch it entirely. Laundry cannot happen. I mean, unless you buy, and this is very wasteful, and I do not advocate this, but unless you were to wear a brand new outfit every single day and then donate it to the charity shop, because you're not going to throw it away, and then get another completely new outfit the next day, you're going to need to do your washing at some point in order to have clean clothes, because it's just the reality of life. But we're using that as a silly fun example. However, there are some things in your life that actually you maybe do because you've always done them, and they happen just because. And so what the stop doing list really encourages you to do is to start paying attention to, yes, those things that light you up, but specifically as it pertains to the stop doing list, what are those things that do the opposite of that? What are those things that drain you? What are those things that leave you feeling less than? What are those things that leave you feeling ugh? And I don't know how to spell the word ugh. So if you're watching this with the captions on, good luck with that one. However, it is a useful exercise. And it's not something, whilst I would encourage you, yes, it's your plaything for this week, this is not going to be something you can knock out in an hour one Tuesday afternoon, for example. Instead, you're going to want to be noticing over the next few days. As you move through your day and you start to notice, what are those things that actually leave me feeling a bit flat and lacking in energy? Now, if it's something that you does really need to get done, I would encourage you to then do a Mary Poppins on it and find the fun. Some of you inside the Blue House will have heard the story before. Not so much with our current shower. After we did the kitchen and the shower leaked into the kitchen and we changed some stuff in the bathroom, which is a whole other story, we now have we have a shower over the bath, which is not so awkward to clean. However, our previous shower was one of these boxed in ones, and it felt a little bit like a sort of standing up tomb, and it gets dirty, as showers do, and I'm not the greatest at cleaning. I do not enjoy cleaning. However, I do like living in a clean house. And so every now and again, I would get to the point where, okay, this really needs to get done. And I kid you not, what I'm about to say is absolutely true. I would pretend that I was Cinderella. And it would always be on a Saturday morning, because there's always more time on a Saturday. Saturday morning, I would have a shower, do all the usual hair, blah, blah, blah. And then I would pretend I was Cinderella, and I'd get the nozzle, and I would be cleaning. And I don't know how Cinderella would clean the shower, but that was what I was pretending. It made the job less tedious. It helped me to find the fun. And so as you go through this, there are going to be some things that come up that you might not necessarily completely adore. There might be some things that you do in act of service to the people who you do life with. I mean, I'm thinking back to when the kids were little. Did I used to love, I don't know, I can't think of something I didn't used to love, but let's call it for what it is, the sometimes monotony of doing life with little people. That's no disrespect to the little people in your life. I mean, my little people are now that much older. They're all older teenagers and adults. But I still remember it very clearly. Life with little people, even though they're your children and you love them so, so much and would do anything for them, it can be a bit tedious and boring, can't it? Really? And if you sat there go, no, it's not tedious and boring at all. I love every minute of it. I'm sorry, but you're lying to yourself. Either that, or you must be like some superhuman who has abilities far beyond mine. But actually, the reality of day-to-day life with little people is hard work and can be quite tedious and a bit monotonous and is usually a thankless task. And you get to the end of the day and you're absolutely exhausted. However, would you trade those things? Absolutely not. You know, I was very privileged. My husband and I, when we started a family, we made the decision that I would be at home with the children. I was working a bit, but they had me around most of the time, which was lovely and wonderful. And again, there were times when it was tedious and monotonous and very messy. However, I would not give those occasions up. They are the young people and adults that they are today because of that experience. And that's no judgment if you're not at home with your children either. This is a judgment-free zone. What this is really about is recognizing that there are some things in life that we do, that the actual act itself does not bring us joy, but we do it because of the people that we are doing it for or with. And so this is about noticing, paying attention as the week unfolds to those things that light you up, things that do not light you up, those things that are tedious. Are you able to stop doing them? Can you add them to your stop doing list and either have somebody else do them or just get rid of them entirely? You know, particularly those things that are, oh, well, we've just always done them this way. Those are a really great starting point for that. And then if there are things that, no, actually you do need to do them, how can you find the fun in those things? Why are we doing this? These are all good clues to helping you be you. These are good clues to help you move into God's best for you. Because remember what we've explored before, you are not an accident. The way that your mind works is not an accident. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God saw you and knew you as he laid the foundations of the world. There is nothing accidental about you whatsoever. I don't care how you came into this world and what that looked like. It was not an accident. You are not an accident. Now, will there be some parts of your early life that perhaps were not brilliant? Absolutely. Am I saying that God willed them? No. He allowed them, and I know that's a difficult thing for some of us to hear. He allowed them, and that's a conversation to have which is outside of the remit of this podcast, really. You know, God, why does God allow this difficult stuff? I guess all of it ultimately is about that relationship piece. But like I say, it's too big. I'm very aware of the fact that I don't know who I am speaking to right now, this moment. I don't know who's going to listen to this episode. I don't know specifically, you know, how you came into the world and what your early life looked like. But I know one who does. God knows. And even in those really difficult times, God was right there with you. He is right there with you. He can take everything and turn it to good. Even the messiest, hardest, most awful parts of life. He didn't will them. They weren't his choice. However, he can turn them to good. He can make, just make glorious, beautiful. The analogy I'm getting is the pearl, and with the grain of sand and the grit that creates that pearl. He can create a beautiful pearl from those messiest parts of your life. Again, that's a side note. That wasn't it wasn't in my notes. It wasn't where we were going to go today. So I don't know who needs that, but take it to God and explore it with him, because this is really just the start of a conversation. As You can probably tell from my slight hesitancy as I'm speaking, there is a lot more to unpack in that we can't do justice to in a short 10-minute episode. And I recognise, yes, today we have gone slightly over 10 minutes because of our tangent. But drawing us back into your plaything, your stop doing list. What are those things that zap your energy? What are those things that do not light you up? Is there a way to stop doing them? Can you delegate them? Or how do you find the fun? Explore this, have fun with it. Remembering, if you're a Blue House member, come and share what comes up for you in the Blue House. And if you're not a member of the Blue House, come and join us. Youier.com/join is where you can do that. Our relationship level membership starts at, well, both levels are pay as you're nudged, but the minimum for the relationship level is just £1. So there's no financial reason why anybody can't join. And I'm excited to show you around. We do now have the Blue House 2.0. We recently, a few weeks ago, we moved on to a new platform. It has an app, it's faster, it's just an exciting time. So if you're getting nudged, ask God. If you're getting nudged, if it's the next best thing for you, then come and join us. But anyway, all of that said, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to share this episode. If you know somebody who needs this episode, please do share it with them and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.